Shalom, giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwarash, and double honors as always to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. And I wanted to do a response to this video that was uploaded by the elder brother Amawan Gabar. As you can see, his page here, subscribe and be edified. The title of the video that I will be responding to today, all right, is a message to the super rich. Build your bunkers outside of America, then you'll see what awaits you. As the elites are preparing to scurry into the bunkers when the destruction comes, all right, pursuant to biblical prophecy, all right, that will be done. When you go into the Holy Scriptures, it tells you that the rich men, along with their servants and everything else that they have, are going to flee into the bunkers when World War III hits, especially when the missiles hit America, because nothing is going to survive here in America. Okay, nobody who's here in America that's not beamed up on the ship, all right, will survive. So it's going to be an utter destruction. All right, but you're going to have particular rich elite families, all right, and people of high reputation, whether they're out in the public or whether you never heard of them. They're going to scurry into the bunkers, which is going to be a safe haven unto them, all right, to survive the destruction and ultimately be alive to be the first fruits of captivity under Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right, the elect will be joint heirs. As a matter of fact, let's get the book of Revelation, the 2nd chapter, and the 26th verse. I start at 25. It says, "But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come." And we're holding fast to what we have, this truth, through the Holy Spirit, which is a gift. It says, "And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I have received of my Father." And you can read that in the book of Psalms, the 2nd chapter, where Yahweh Shai was promised the heathen as his inheritance, as his possession. And those of us who are joint heirs with Yahweh Shai, all right, will, join with him in that rulership over them. All right. But the scriptures say that the kings of the nations, okay, will be our nursing. This is Isaiah 49:23. "And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers, and they shall bow down to thee with their face to the earth and lick up the dust of thy feet," which is symbolic of just being our footstool. Doesn't mean they're literally going to be licking our feet, but they're going to be our footstool. They're going to be under us. They're going to be beneath us. All right. And the scriptures told the serpent, "Dust shall he eat all the days of his life." All right. He's going to be the servant of servants, the biblical Edomites. And they're going to lick the dust of our feet, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. So this is one of the things that we have coming, is rulership and dominion over the heathen. But it starts with their kings, all right? Their kings, their noblemen, all right, are going to be bound with fetters of iron, okay? Let's get the book of Psalms 149. In 8, it says, "To bind their kings," as a matter of fact, let's start at 4. "For Yahweh shall take pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises in beds represent rest." Salvation and rest is synonymous. When we get the new body's rulership, this is an aspect of our salvation and rulership and rest. All right. "Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments of the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles, or with the fetter of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written, this honor have ye all as saints. So the kings of the nations, okay, will be, according to the Holy Scriptures, they will scurry into those bunkers when the destruction comes. So this video is a message to the super rich. Build your bunkers outside of America, then you'll see what awaits you. And what awaits you is going to be Yahweh Shai and the first fruits, all right, the first resurrection, the Israelites, the tabernacle of David, in new bodies, literally snatching your ass out of those bunkers, okay? So let's play some of this video, get some scriptures, and hopefully you brothers and sisters are edified. So somebody has to survive the destruction. All right. So the Lord has given these devils certain amounts of control, influence, money to be able to have bunkers where when you go down there, they have cities, they have over, 400 years worth of food. All right. And they know and understand, all right, that's what they're going to do. As the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord has put the spirit on them, all right, to create these bunkers. But let's check this out.
All right, the aforementioned Pete Hegseth, co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend, is here. Now, Pete, I think that some of these bunkers are bigger than the houses that you and I grew up in, but you've got a bunker, and that it doesn't surprise me to hear that. What kind of bunker are you building out there?
A very simple bunker, Brian. I thank Griff for the shout out. I don't have billions of dollars to build a bunker. Like most people, not a lot of disposable income with lots of kids. So you do what you can. The house we bought came with like a cellar bunker, tornado shelter type thing. So we're trying to modify it to be prepared. But all I'm really trying to be prepared for, Brian, is a grid down situation. I don't know if the zombie apocalypse is coming. I don't know if war is coming. I don't know what's coming. All I know is that when the power goes out, whether you're in Tennessee or New York City, life changes. Within 48 hours, the whole world's different. Within 96 hours, we can't even predict what the world would look like, what our society would look like. So where are you going to get food? Where are you going to get water? Where are you going to get power? How are you going to get it off the island of Manhattan if you want to get off? Or how are you going to go get to your family and friends? Do you have gasoline? Like, to me, it's more just a mindset of having the essentials for 5, 6, 7 days. And then if the grid's really down, well, then maybe only the billionaires survive at that point.
It's funny, growing up, my grandparents had a bomb shelter, and it was really...
Only the billionaires survive. Now, when you deal with these elites, in their mythology, you have this phoenix bird, which is associated with Greek mythology, that rises out of the ashes. And that's what, they plan to be out of all of this destruction. All right. They know so many people are already, being offed and going back to the spirit world. But after war, which they're funding both sides and playing God, they're gonna lose control. As that war breaks out and all of these people die, they plan on going into those bunkers, which is scriptural, which is prophetic. And after, the smoke clears, eventually they rise out of the ashes and dominate and rule the rest of the people that are left on the planet Earth, and bring in that NWO fully. All right, the chip, everything that they want. All right, after that chaotic, of a situation, if you're in control, then ultimately you can rule the little people that's left. All right, and bring them into your order. That's what they want. They're going to be the phoenix that rise out of the ashes. Okay. And boy, oh boy, do they have their plans. But, as we're going to show you, all right, what awaits those rich elite families that are going to be in those bunkers. All right. Well, the first fruits, okay, the Israelites are going to ultimately come off of the ship as they're going to be delivered onto the ship, beamed up. The scripture says, come up hither, and then ultimately they come down. Okay, and they're going to get you out of those bunkers and bind the kings of these particular heathen nations, all right, with chains and fetters of iron. And they're going to be the first fruits of captivity. You got to think these people haven't worked, all right? They lived on a high horse. You know, they've ruled over the majority of the people with absolute, no mercy, complete wicked, completely out of their minds. So the Lord, with their high horse comes these bunkers, you know, for the ones, who the Lord wants to survive. They're going to be down in those bunkers as the chariot has delivered the elect, and they're going to be fighting against the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ from those bunkers, and their military is literally going to be fighting, and they're going to lose. They're going to fight the second coming of who the world calls Jesus Christ. If you're in the military, okay, you are being trained to fight against the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and you're going to lose.
Fun to play in it. I never knew that it would be like a serious thing that we'd actually be talking about, Pete. On that note, I want to stick with this theme, but it was interesting that the CEO of that company said that they're seeing a little bit of an uptick as well in areas like Los Angeles, right, where it's a lot of crime that's increasing and people are focusing on security. Do you see that as sort of like another secondary business for these guys?
Big time. Well, that's a huge secondary business, the idea of safe rooms where you can go should you be. I mean, think about places where the rule of law barely exists. The police forces have been thinned out. The 911 reaction time is minutes, tens of minutes when it used to be a minute or two. What are you going to do if there's a home intruder? First of all, a lot of these places you don't even have a Second Amendment right. By the way, I listed food, water, and everything else. Before that, you better have the ability to defend yourself, a firearm and ammunition, because if things really go sideways, that's what you're going to need to protect yourself.
As you can see, the title of it, Survival of the Richest, Billionaires Building Bunkers to Prep for an Apocalypse.
Now, billionaires have many obsessions. Supercars, ice baths, exotic animals, you name it, and billionaires usually have it. But off late, they seem to have a new obsession. Bunkers. The top 1% are building bunkers. Mark Zuckerberg is constructing one in Hawaii, and it's worth $270 million, $270 million. It's almost like a status symbol now. But why do the super rich need bunkers? Are they trying to survive a war? Maybe another pandemic? Or an apocalypse? Do they know something that we do not? Our next report tells you.
Blast-resistant doors, equipped with its own food and energy supplies. This is a 5,000 square foot shelter located underground in Hawaii. The price tag of the project is $270 million. If you want to survive an apocalypse, this is the place to be. Who does this belong to? Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg. The billionaire is building a bunker, and he isn't the only one. Former PayPal CEO Peter Thiel tried to build one in New Zealand. Bill Gates has plenty of underground security areas, apparently one under each of his homes. Of course, these are the higher end ones, but you could get yourself a base.
And it will make sense that these devils would need to be alive as they are at the forefront of pushing all of this wickedness. So if they just died in a nuclear fire, and we're all just destroyed, then, how would they be the first fruits of slavery? No, they need to be alive. Now let's get the scripture in the book of Psalm. Well, let's start here at Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Lord controls the kings, all right? The king's heart, the king's mind is in the hand of the Lord. So he's put the spirit on them to get these bunkers. All right, now you see in Hawaii, all right, but they have these bunkers all over the world. Just believe if you see it and they're telling you about it, all right, they're doing it on, all right, a whole nother level, all right, out off the camera. Okay, that's child's play what they're showing you, all right. What they have access to and what they're planning on doing is big, and the Lord gave them power, all right, on the left-hand side. He gave them riches. He gave them dominion in the earth. So they have the ability to do these things. Now, this is Revelation, the 6th chapter, in the 14th verse. And heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And this is at the destruction of Babylon the Great, as we've been going into in the book of Jeremiah, the 50th chapter. And the last verse, it says, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved and the cry is heard among the nations. So the whole earth is going to be moved at the fall of Babylon the Great. Okay? The earth is moved at the noise of their fall, Jeremiah 49:21. So the earth is going to be reeled to and fro when Babylon is destroyed. You see? And there's going to be war in other parts of the earth as well. But Babylon is ultimately going to be the city and nation, along with the land of Israel, that has to be destroyed. But that will be rebuilt. Babylon will be destroyed and never be rebuilt. But at the fall of Babylon the Great, the earth will reel to and fro. See? And the heaven departed as a scroll going into the mushroom cloud, the destruction that's coming from nuclear missiles. And this takes us to Isaiah, the 34th chapter. See? In the heaven, Isaiah 34:4, and the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their host shall fall down, as the leaf faded off of a vine, as the falling from a fig tree. It's all going to collapse. Okay, it's all gonna go bad. It's gonna just all the America's gonna be destroyed. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and against the people of my curse to judgment. See, so the Lord has a particular people who are subject to a judgment, all right, like never before. So the Lord is going to destroy their headquarters, the capital of their wicked beast system, Babylon the Great, with fire. See? And as you read, let's see here, Isaiah 34:8 in the NLT, for it is the day of the Lord's revenge, the year when Edom will be paid back for all it did to Israel. The streams of Edom will be filled with a burning pitch, all right, and the ground will be covered with fire. This is the judgment on Edom that will never end, and the smoke of its burning will rise forever, all right? And the land will lie deserted from generation to generation. No one will live there anymore. All right. So just like Sodom and Gomorrah, all right, it still burns unto this day in memorial. This is going to be a memorial of rebellion against the Heavenly Father. All right. And it's going to be tied to Esau, Edom. See? And at the fall of Babylon the Great, all right, the earth and every mountain is going to move out of their places. Okay? And the kings of the earth, Revelation 6:15, and the great man and the rich man, and the chief captains and the mighty men, and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the dens and rocks of the mountains. That's those bunkers. And when they're in there, pursuing the Revelation, the 9th chapter, all right, Revelation 9:20, and the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, the destruction, yet repented not for the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols and silver and gold and stone and wood, neither that can see nor hear nor walk, nor repented of their murders, nor their sorceries, nor their fornication, nor their theft. So this is the elites of the world. And as Yahushua returns, they're going to be fighting against Yahushua. And they're not going to stop. They're not going to, they're ultimately going to be stopped. See? So they're going to be kept alive along with their power. They're going to be fighting against the chariots. They're going to be praising, praying to those demons and deities on the left-hand side. They're going to be in the rocks in the mountains doing these things. All right. Well, shouldn't they be in hell? Well, no, they're not going to hell. They're going into hell in a sense of a hellish condition on earth, which is captivity, and said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us, hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. So that's what these elites are going to be saying. Hide us from the wrath of the Lamb. All right. And they're going to be scared, but as the scriptures say, they're going to still fight. They're still going to fight. They're going to be fighting from those bunkers. They're going to have their, different military, technologies and all of these things, trying to do their bidding, but they're going to fall. They're going to lose. Okay. And Isaiah, the 24th chapter, because of the evils of these devils and, the earth being defiled because of the transgressions and the laws being broken and this wicked, proud, way of rulership. All right. The end all be all is the earth. Isaiah 19:24-19 says the earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. All right. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression of it thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. They're not going to rise again after a period of 1,000 years. Affliction is not going to rise up again. All right. So this is the destruction that's coming. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. See, they're going to be judged upon the earth. See, after that great destruction, they're going to, go into those bunkers. All right. But from there, when New Jerusalem come down from heaven, hey, they're going to go to those bunkers and get your ass up out of there. See, verse 22, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered into the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days they shall be visited. So they're going to be shut up in prison and rounded up, bound with chains, put in captivity. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. You see, Jeremiah 16 and 16, behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. Afterward, I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. All right. And we're going to get Israel too. All right? The 2/3 are the rebels. They're going to get purged out. But also, we're going to go and get those rich elite rulers out of those rocks and from the holes of the earth and from the caves and out of those bunkers. You see? So what's going to be awaiting you is the tabernacle of David. All right, as the rich elite are going to scurry into those bunkers for the purpose of being enslaved. You see, this all fulfills biblical prophecy. Billionaires are building bunkers and buying islands. And it's so much to this earth that people have no idea about. All right, but they have access to things. So the Lord is going to allow these weirdos to make it, a lot of them. Those of them that are on the shores of America, you bet your bottom dollar they're going to be, decimated. But for those who are scattered, all right, in places like London and, different, parts of the world, Switzerland and, different parts of Europe, all over the world, scattered, those places aren't going to be utterly destroyed with fire. You see? So the people who are there, the elites who have, the ability to flee from the judgment that's going to, they're going to be alive. See? And these are going to be the first fruits of slavery. This is the reason the Lord is doing this. Everything that's happening on the planet Earth is happening for the purpose of fulfilling prophecy. See? And again, they have to be here because, again, we need, all right, slaves. All right? As the scriptures say in Proverbs 28, 28 and 11. Proverbs 14:28, a growing population is a king's glory, and a prince without subjects has nothing. See? So a prince without subjects has nothing. Okay? And who ultimately, pursuant to the Holy Scriptures, is going to build our walls? Okay? Let's get the book of Isaiah, the 60th chapter and the 10th verse. It says, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee, for in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I shall have mercy unto thee. All right. Therefore shall thy gates be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations will be utterly wasted. So their kings are going to be brought. All right. And their kings just so happen to be the rich men. See, because in the kingdom of heaven, they're going to be in a position of servitude. Isaiah 61:5. A part of the good news is what? And strangers, Isaiah 61:5, and strangers shall stand and feed your flocks. You're not going to have to work. And the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. But ye shall be named priests of Yahweh. Men shall call you ministers of our power. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. See? So they're going to be plowmen and vine dressers. Okay? A plowman is a car. Plowman, husbandman, farmer, working the land, yet not owning any of it. And they're not going to own a damn thing. They're going to go from owning the whole entire planet Earth, okay, to being locked away in prisons. Okay, locked away, because that's ultimately what's getting ready to happen. The fugitive, who has, been able to escape judgment, do all of this wickedness, he's finally going to receive a judgment. See? But when we deal with these Edomites and the fact that, the ones who are, you have your everyday Edomite, they're not going to make it up out of here. They're going to be through. And that's not really, a big part of, a threat to us. The biggest threat to us are the elites, the ones who have the ability to say what goes in the food, who study you, who have these research centers and colleges set up to do all kind of wicked studies to figure out how to destroy you further, who have control over the music industry, the entertainment industry, who control the direction of science, the ones who are responsible for this godless nation of people that are walking around. The kings of the earth, the rulers. You're going to go from owning the whole entire planet Earth to living on the earth, working for us, and not owning any of the land that you're working. That's the curse that's on us right now. We're building up someone else's legacy as we go to work, and help, because the scriptures say we would have to go to this man in want of all things. So in that, we're helping build his empire. Well, it's all going to switch in the kingdom of heaven. All right. These devils are going to go from hunk to punk. And this is why the Lord has these bunkers being built by these elites.
Tried to build one in New Zealand. Bill Gates has plenty of underground security areas, apparently one under each of his homes. Of course, these are the higher end ones, but you could get yourself a basic one for $500,000. It's almost like buying an expensive car. And for billionaires, it's a good way to use some loose change. But where are they building them? Apparently all over the world. But a popular choice seems to be New Zealand. It's attributed to its secluded location, which brings us to the boom in the...
And when you deal with New Zealand, it's beautiful over there. It's very cold, but that was one of the last places on the planet Earth that was conquered by, the colonizers. So it's only so many people there. So it's still, clean. It's not overran down. All right. So it would make sense that a lot of them are going over there.
Companies building these survival shelters. Some of them are just basic shelters. They are underground, they have all the essentials, you can survive there for a few weeks. But a handful of them go a step further, like this one project that includes an island fortress. This is not just a bunker, the entire island is like a fort with an inflammable moat. Basically, if you try to step foot on the island, it will burn down, but you will be perfectly safe inside the underground bunker. Sounds perfect for a zombie apocalypse. But why are the super rich building bunkers? What are they so scared of? In the last 5 years, the world has survived a lot. A global pandemic.
Well, we just said that the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Why are they doing it? Is because they have to fulfill prophecy. See, as the scriptures say, all of these things that were created by the Lord are obedient to what he has called them to do and be obedient to.
Pandemic, 2 wars, climate change. Some of these bunkers have registered nurses, a collection of drugs, decontamination booths, medical supplies. One even has a full-fledged operating table. Basically, you can survive anything in there. It's almost like modern-day Noah's Ark. If you are in the bunker, you are likely to survive almost all catastrophes. But it's not for everyone. It's only for the chosen few. And
See, their chosen few on the left-hand side. And it says that's their version of Noah's Ark. See, the phoenix who rises out of the ashes. You know?
here, Noah is not making the choice. The world's super rich are making it for themselves. But beneath all these underground bunkers lies a dark truth. It's that death is truly the great equalizer. And the super rich, just like us, fear it too. They cannot buy their way out of it, even with these underground bunkers and fortresses. But that hasn't stopped them from trying.
Hey, and the scriptures say he swallowed down riches, and his ass is going to be judged and cough him back up. So hopefully I will edify on to the next Shalom.